Hey, what is up? This is the Griffin-88, and I'm here to talk about two cartoons on Disney XD. I never watched Disney growing up, and I began to realize that I missed a lot of awesome shit, like Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, Tailspin, Goof Troop, like cool cartoons that I probably should have been watching but didn't because I was always more of a Nickelodeon person. I don't know why. But, anyway, so in catching it, Disney XD is strictly for, like, Marvel, it's, like, superhero stuff. You know, all the shit that I like, and I figured that I might as well take a look at, two cartoons that sparked my interest, Ultimate Spider-Man, and, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which is in the second season. So, like, why didn't nobody tell me that this existed sooner? I mean, probably because it's only been about a year since I really got into Marvel stuff, but still. It surprised me when it was in its second season on iTunes. Like, way into the second season, like, ready to go into a third season. They have a lot of episodes. But it's a very good cartoon. Both of them are very good, and they both overlap, because, in the hint that they're working with, Spider-Man is becoming a member of S.H.I.E.L.D., which he was and is in the comic book. It is, I think. Like I said, still getting in there. It's deep. It's learning the history of a completely other universe. So I guess, I haven't really watched too much of the Avengers episodes, and I am too poor to buy them on iTunes. I mean, I guess I'll look for some on YouTube, you know, look for some here, but, until I did get some of the other Spider-Man stuff, which piqued my interest, mostly because one of them features Loki, who is my boyfriend, in my head. I'm crazy. But, what can I say? Tom Hiddleston, he's sexy. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, see, that's what that does to my brain. Right, you know, because Loki is in one episode, and then they have Venom and a couple others. I did actually go see The Amazing Spider-Man, and, I mean, I didn't hate it, but also didn't really favor it too much. Mostly because I'm more of a Mary Jane fan, I guess. Spider-Man, Mary Jane, we call me old school, but I just never really favored that particular canon. I mean, if they do Venom, and I really hope that they do Venom, then I'll be there, but, yeah, it's not my cup of tea. I mean, the effects were good, I think I just prefer the other canon from the other three movies, also because there was a little, you know, I don't like it when they reboot movies I was actually around to see the first installment of. You know, but yeah, no, so, the Spider-Man cartoon is the first one I want to talk about, because it's really, really interesting, and, the way it overlaps with the other, with the Avengers cartoon I'll talk about, but, the Spider-Man cartoon is a really good example, if you ever get a chance to look at it. It's a really good example of how anime is influencing our cartoons, and this is Marvel. This is something that might as well be waving the American flag, because, I mean, you know, they have Captain America, it's American, yet there are parts in the cartoon where you get a little, chibi Spider-Man, or, in one episode, chibi Nick Fury, which was really funny. But like a little, you know, sort of stylized figure of, Spider-Man who will, like, say stuff. And that's very anime. I mean, they have that in anime a lot. Tezuka someone Tezuka actually sort of birthed the idea by having a couple of little characters crop. One was this little mushroom, the poison mushroom character, and the other one was this little dude. I forget his name. I think it was in Japanese, which is probably why I can't remember it. But he's sort of the one who started that style of having a little figure who would say stuff in the background. I'm gonna guess that Vertical's translation, I'm guessing, is good for the Tezuka stuff I've read, but sometimes it doesn't make sense. But I suppose it's funnier for Japanese. Again, this is the boundaries of culture, you know, it's like some stuff you just don't get. So there'd be like really random stuff going on in the background and be like, what? But that's Tezuka stuff. But anyway, so he's the one who really ushered in that, using a stylized form of the character to sort of represent what the character's thinking or feeling or their inner self. So yeah, so you'll see that, and the minute I saw it, I was like, that's very anime. I was like, wait a minute, am I watching Spider-Man or anime Spider-Man? There actually was, in the 1970s, a live-action Japanese Spider-Man, and that's all sorts of fun. If you ever want to look that up. 1970s Japanese Spider-Man, just, yeah, YouTube that, and, yeah, crazy shit going on over there. But yeah, so that's the thing, one of the ways that it's influencing influencing our media. I mean, even more so than the last thing I was talking about, which is Batman. Batman's just the prime example I use because it's so easy to contrast. There's no point me. People coming up the stairs. But like, the filming location isn't exactly, since I have to do these blogs whenever I can, now that stupid YouTube won't let me upload my nice lunar blog. But, you know, so the crossover into the Avengers, I haven't had too much of a chance to watch, and I'll probably blog more about it when I have. I really do hope Loki shows up at one point, because, you know, I love him to bits. I do. But, from what I can see, it's very, very interesting. Since they did see, I mean, like, I guess this, yeah, so they had the Skrull invasion, which, that's from the Secret Invasion, Secret Invasion, arc, which, like, the Skrull invasion it's interesting that they put that in because that invasion is actually, no, wait, you know what, forget what I was about to say. The Skrull invasion all happened at the same time they switched over to the Dark Avengers, which is actually where my Marvel thing got started, because that was the peak reign of Venom. Venom, as I like him, as worn by Mac Gargan. I always thought Mac could wear it better than Eddie. Eddie's such a pussy. I mean, Mac was already a bad guy, you see. But, yeah, no, so, the thing about the Avengers is that they really do bring out almost all the superheroes. Everybody else that they really can't fit into other cartoons. Oh, speaking of Spider-Man, has anybody seen the episode with Doctor Strange? Because he's hot. I mean, wow. I started, like, really noticing that halfway, and I'm like, damn, he's sexy. And a magician. Woohoo! Sexy magicians. Yep, Marvel, what do you think? The character design, though, is actually really good. And, really, I guess this shouldn't be about Spider-Man, except for the fact that Spider-Man does occasionally crossover with S.H.I.E.L.D., and the X-Men, Wolverine was in there, too, Wolverine and Sabretooth. And, the only qualms I really have with the Ultimate Spider-Man is that he makes way too many jokes. I mean, like, it's one after the other, one after the other. I'm counting on my fingers. The screen isn't wide enough to show that. But, I mean, you know, leave it to the professionals. Spidey, leave it to Deadpool. I really hope that they throw in Deadpool at some point, because if you've ever seen in the old X-Men, was it Evolutions, or, it might have been, yeah, it was either Evolutions or Wolverine in the X-Men, where they had Wolverine versus the Hulk, and then Deadpool's in there, and he's really, really funny. Which is what it's I really can't wait for the movie to come out. I mean, because the guys writing here are the guys who wrote Zombieland, and that should just be, you know, that's good writing right there. So that should be fun. I mean, I'm incredibly optimistic for somebody who's supposed to be reviewing stuff, but yeah, no, I love Deadpool. Deadpool game coming out too. I mean, if there's ever a reason I need to buy a PS3. So Google that as well once you get a chance. But once I have a chance to watch more of the Avengers, I'll probably be back on to talk about that. But I like that they are bringing in a lot of people, and I like that they are bringing in some of the lesser known villains. I mean, well, that was in Spider-Man. They had the Taskmaster. So there's just more people, sort of like churning up old foes as well as, I mean, new foes as well as old ones. That doesn't really sound right. You get what I mean, though. Bringing back people you haven't really seen since the 70s, if you were around in the 70s. So I guess that's all to say. This is the Griffin-88 wishing she had a better internet connection. Bye.